All right, the majority leader in the Senate, Mitch McConnell, has canceled, good start, the first 2 weeks of the Senate's August recess, and he says he may vote on the bill next week. I'll believe it when I see it. Now, Senator Ted Cruz said that he will support the bill as long as it drives down the cost of premiums. That's key. So will that happen? Now, some of the key provisions and revisions to the release bill include billions of dollars to combat opioid addiction, additional funding for insurers covering a high-risk pool. It also allows premiums to be paid with pre-tax health savings accounts. That's important. And still, some senators are still skeptical that this revamped legislation will even ever see the light of day. Now, earlier today, before the revised plan was released, well, here's Senator John McCain, you know, the guy involved in that dossier thing. This is what he said earlier.
It should have gone through the committees of oversight so that the Democrats had a role to play, and then we probably could have gotten this thing done. Now, I think prospects are dim, but it is what it is.
And Republican Senator Susan Collins went a step further and vowed not to support the bill. She tweeted out, still, deep cuts in Medicaid in the Senate bill. Will vote no on a motion to proceed. Ready to work with the GOP and Democratic colleagues to fix the flaws in the ACA. Now, remember, these are the same pathetic, weak Republicans, spineless Republican senators. They vowed to completely repeal and replace Obamacare. They said, give us the House in 2010, give us the Senate in 2014, give us the presidency in 2016. We'll get this done, remember?
There's only one way to truly fix Obamacare, only one way, and that's a full repeal. A full repeal. That's been our goal from the start. That's our goal now, and we plan to achieve it.
It's clear that any serious attempt to improve our health care system must begin with full repeal and replacement of Obamacare. Amish and I remain fully committed to fighting on behalf of the people of Arizona.
Repealing Obamacare's poorly crafted and misguided mandates and replacing the law with a fiscally responsible reform bill that contains costs and provides more choices is the best path forward.
You can't repair this monstrosity. You got to tear it down and start all over again.
How do you get to that point, though?
When they lose elections.
And do you think that's the key, that the Republicans have to take the Senate, and from that point you can have a different strategy?
Yeah, the ones who survive in 2016 or up in 2016 are going to have a different attitude.
If you can't replace it, then do what you said. Repeal it. You have no excuses left. You have the House, the Senate, the presidency. Now, President Trump had this to say about the bill in an interview with Pat Robertson yesterday.
Number one, repeal and replace. I am sitting in the Oval Office with a pen in hand waiting for our senators to give it to me. For years, they've been talking about repeal, replace, repeal, replace. I think they passed it 61 times, repeal and replace. But that didn't mean anything because you had the minority, the Republicans. They didn't have the majority, so it wasn't going to get to the president. But if it ever did, Obama wasn't going to sign it, so it didn't mean. Now we have a president that's waiting to sign it.
61 times. I have a message for all of you in Washington. You know what? You cannot give up on repealing the, quote, Affordable Care Act. You made us a promise, the American people, for 7 years. You guaranteed you'd end Obamacare. You assured all of us you would develop a health care bill that actually worked for the American people. Stop your whinings, roll up your sleeves, get to work, put your egos aside, get it done. You were elected to lead, make tough decisions, get this thing over the finish line, and do it for the American people, and stop with the vacations. They didn't elect you to capitulate and whine and complain and fall down on your face. This is pathetic. Do your job.